It's time to talk Marion County football with Marion County football coach Ross Brown. Our coverage is brought to you by Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon and United Threads in Lebanon. Now let's head to Big Papa Smokehouse for Marion County football talk with head coach of the Knights, Ross Brown, right here on G&G Productions, where it's live and free.
All right, good evening and welcome back in to the Marion County Football Coaches Show, brought to you by Big Papa Smokehouse here in Lebanon. Jamie Murphy joined by Marion County head coach Ross Brown, fresh off a huge win in the border battle over Washington County on Friday night. Coach, congratulations on that win.
Thank you very much.
And coming up today, we'll be joined by a couple of Marion County players. We'll have quarterback and linebacker Wyatt Thompson and center and defensive tackle Kyle Purdom. That's coming up here on the Coaches Corner Show, brought to you by Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. This is a G&G production.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride. Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
Opening an account is easy at Farmers National Bank. We're here to help you get started.
With options like secure checking, student checking, and even senior checking, we can help you find the account that best fits your current needs. Farmers National Bank. Local, friendly, ready to serve you.
Member FDIC.
And good evening. Welcome back in to Big Papa Smokehouse here in Lebanon for the Marion County Coaches Show on G&G. Jamie Murphy and head coach Ross Brown with you on this Tuesday night, and an exciting Tuesday night as we're coming off that big win in the border war over Washington County on Friday night, Coach. So congratulations. And how was the debut performance for you?
Well, it was awesome. Yeah, the excitement in the stadium, and you can tell this is my first time experiencing this rivalry, but you could tell as soon as you walked into the stadium what it means to everybody in these two communities, and that was easy to understand really quick, and I'm glad we could come out with a victory.
Yeah, the countdown calendar set for next year already?
Always, I think so, right?
You better. Your players might get on you if you don't, because it means a lot to them. And one thing that stood out going back and watching that game was you all still played that physical style of football you wanted to, but it seemed like the emotions really stayed in check for the majority of the game.
Right. I think we did a good job all night of staying pretty even keel. We came in with a mission to run that game a certain way, and we kind of executed it. And that's the first time, since we've started down this journey together that's happened, and we didn't cough the ball up, 4 or 5 times. And it's funny how that works whenever you don't do that, how things tend to work out for you.
Well, to that point, the first 2 possessions defensively, you force a fumble, force an interception, and then your offense turns those into points. And that's you couldn't draw up a better way to start a game, could you? Right.
It was complimentary football early on. Both sides of the ball were playing pretty well, and just doing their assignments, right? What we've been working on all week. They did a great job of executing the game plan, and we didn't give up any big plays from a team that has had some big plays the past couple weeks in the passing game, and I thought we did a great job in the secondary of limiting that.
Your defensive unit's forced a ton of turnovers already this year. Are turnovers something you can coach up and work on in practice, or is it just kind of, I don't want to say fluky because it seems like it's down, degrading what you do, but can you coach turnovers in practice?
I don't think you can coach turnovers sometimes. The way you attack the ball carrier, of course, yes, but I think most of it has to do with effort. And we talk about this all the time in practice, defensive practices. Every day they have 4 seconds to everybody to get to the ball after the whistle's blown. So we've been trying to train them. Everybody's pursuing the ball no matter where it's going on what part of the field. Even if you're half a football field away, pursue it because you never know what's going to happen. And a couple of different times this year, it's been because we kept pursuing on a play that a lot of people would have stopped running on. And so I think hustle goes along and effort goes a long way to creating turnovers sometimes.
Yeah, definitely that the fumble. I do forget who forced it in the first quarter on the running back, but when he kind of got on that sideline, looked like the play was over with, and even the announcers here on G&G thought that, and then the big hit leads to the fumble.
Right, and that's a perfect example. That was Lane Doherty who hit the running back on the sideline there, but. The play looked like it was about dead. It looked like he was going to run out of bounds. A lot of people stopped, but he and a few others didn't. And, I don't know, it's the football gods or what have you, but things tend to work out for people who don't quit.
And that had to be special for Lane. We had him on the show last week, and we know how fired up he was his last time in this game. And, get a fumble like that and play. He was all over the place on Friday night.
Right. I mean, like I told you last week, Lane is one of the biggest leaders on our team. And if people follow his example of the effort and the heart that he puts into every day and every play on that field, then we'd be headed in a good direction. And I can't say enough about his leadership and what it means to our team.
And then walk us through that first quarter interception as well. Again, we talked about the turnovers your defense has forced. On that interception, it just seemed like you got some pressure on the quarterback, the pocket collapsed, and the defender was just in the right place at the right time. And that's credit to the players for knowing the film and knowing where to be.
Right, and did a good job of forcing some pressure on him and making him move his feet. And then we did a great job in the secondary of knowing personnel. You watch film and you scout and you see who their go-to guys are and you see who he wants to throw the ball to. And I thought we did a good job all night of being in the right place by knowing the game plan of what they wanted to do.
And your defense did a really good job. Not only making taking advantage of the turnovers, but there's 2 penalties in that first half where they had the penalty to set Washington County behind the chains, and then right after that, you force a turnover.
Right, and it's good because the previous 2 weeks, one of the things that had been coming back to bite us is we couldn't get off the field on third down. The Knox Central game the week before, we had them in a lot of third down situations that we let them out of, and they converted. And this past Friday, we got them in those situations, and we didn't let them convert, which turned into good things.
Yeah, and Washington County was 2 for 7 in the first quarter or first half on third down conversions. How big is it to keep a team behind the sticks on third down?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge because it's defeating and demoralizing when you almost get them off the field. You got them in a situation, you got one more down to get them off the field and get the ball back, and then they convert and keep driving it. And if that keeps happening, then it becomes demoralizing for your kids because you get right there to the edge every time but then can't get off. So it's big that we started early on third down because that continued through the rest of the night.
And we talked a lot about your defense so far in this show, but your offense, man, they just controlled the line of scrimmage and time of possession in that first half.
Yeah, and that was a game plan going in, and that's what kind of football team we are. And so, like I said, a great job of executing the game plan. We wanted to control the ball. I think we even controlled it a lot better than we thought we could at this point. Because I think at one point in the second half there, we had the ball for 3 or 4 minutes and still on a first down. A lot of that was due to our penalties, but then we kept converting. Even if it was 1st and 35, eventually we'd convert and ran a lot of time off the clock without moving the ball, really. So, I mean, it was big all night, obviously, if you watched the game and saw it, and it was probably the difference in the game.
Is it like ball control like that? Is that what, really when you say complimentary football like you did earlier, is that what you're looking for?
Right, yeah. And so we wanted to, like I told them before the game, this game is about the football. Who has it, right? When you have it, you got to hang on to it. And when you don't have it, you got to get it back now. And so we went in, and then that was our goal. We want to possess the football. As long as we have the football a lot more than them, then we've liked our chances to win.
And then in that first half, a little confusion there towards the end with the clock and the penalties towards the end. Did you have an explanation of what happened there, or are we still trying to figure that out?
A lot of things, right? Like I said, we're still learning, so we still mess up a lot of stuff. Even though we won this game, we went back and watched film as a team, yesterday and pointed out all the mistakes. I counted up 25 offensive plays with just the backfield. is making mistakes. So we're still doing a lot of things wrong, and some of that came into play right there, right? And then some of it is, knowing your strengths and weaknesses on offense and what you can get away with and what you can't, and protecting the lead. So we wanted to make sure we were careful not to create a silly turnover by trying to do something that was kind of out of our wheelhouse and throw an interception, let them return it for a touchdown. So some of it was mistakes, and some of it was us probably being overly cautious.
It's probably nitpicking at this point, 19-0 shutout win over a rival on the road. But it had to be disappointing to, have that ball for almost 7 minutes into that first quarter and go into the locker room without scoring, because you had a good chance to really put the game away there.
Yeah, and no. Yes, because obviously we like to have scored. But the second best thing after that, if we couldn't score, was not let them have the ball back. So, so in a way it did. We knew we were going to get the ball back coming out of halftime. So, like I said, we weren't itching to try to chuck something up and make a silly mistake and give them the ball back and potentially let them have points.
Okay. Joined here by Marion County head coach Ross Brown, fresh off the big 19-0 victory over Washington County on Friday night. We'll continue breaking down the game, and we'll be joined by players a bit later on in the show. We've got Wyatt Thompson, the quarterback of Marion County, also a linebacker, and Kyle Purdom as well, a center and defensive tackle. You're watching the Marion County Coaches Corner Show, brought to you by Big Papa Smokehouse, Farmers National Bank, and United Threads. This is a G&G production.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa's Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon, or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride.
Ready for a new adventure? We'll help you get there, by land or by water. New car, ATV, RV, or boat? Wherever your next adventure takes you, we make your loan process simple, stress-free, and fast.
Farmers National Bank. Local decisions, personal service, real relationships. Member FDIC.
Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive, right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
Welcome back into the Marion County Coaches Corner Show here on G&G Productions. Jamie Murphy and head coach Ross Brown with you, recapping the big win, 19-0 over Washington County on Friday night. We talked a lot about the first half, so we'll dive into the second half of the game, Coach. I know a little bit shortened due to the weather. And speaking of that, we've seen a lot of college football games, NFL games have weather impacts. Do you prepare your team to kind of have a stop? We didn't have that happen in this game in particular, but it could happen in the future. Do you kind of practice and prepare to have like a half-hour delay, mid-third quarter?
No, I don't think there's any way that you can prepare for that unless you were able to have. Now, if we're running a professional organization where that's their job, the limited time we get to have these kids after school. No, we've never practiced a delay because we're trying to get them home to get their homework done and stuff like that. But I don't know if any high school team can actually prepare for that. Other than just trying to be mentally tough in the situation.
Well, fingers crossed the rest of the way. We have no further weather delays or disruptions, but you never know, of course. But anyway, getting back into the game, just utter dominance again. We mentioned on both sides of the ball, 315 yards of offense to 74 for Washington County.
That's the thing I'm really most proud of. I like over 300's great for us, but I'm a defensive guy at heart, and so I'm more proud of not giving up 100 yards of total offense to a team that has been running through people to this point and put up quite a bit of offense. So that was it showed growth.
Yeah, it's a veteran team over that Washington County side that's had a lot of stability with the same head coach for numerous years, same quarterback.
Yeah, and a lot of continuity there, and good players. The tight end's big, and he's good. The running backs are good. The quarterback's good. Up front, they're good. They're big too. Talking about how big we were before the game, I look out on the field, and they got some big boys up there too. So, they're just a solid football team. And so I think, this shows growth on our part if we were able to take a team like that and hold them to those kind of numbers.
And you mentioned, matching size for size, and I even wrote down last week, it's kind of like playing yourself, and to dominate the game you did up front. What led to that? Was it maybe extra motivation in a rivalry game, or is that just what you've worked on all off season? Kind of come to fruition in week 3.
Well, yeah, it's both. Obviously, these kids are motivated. Their kids are motivated. It's the rivalry, so the adrenaline's going to be there. And so the aggression is naturally going to be there too. But, that's part of our MO at this point. Like I said, we know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and one of our strengths is being strong up front and being able to take advantage of that.
And speaking of the offensive line performance, one good sign of that is when a quarterback sneak goes from, your goal is 1 yard, it turns into an 11-yard gain. That happened a couple of times.
Yeah, it's something that we found during the game that we could do. And so then from that point on, we knew any short yardage situation that we were going to be in, we could turn to that, and that would be there for us.
And a team like you, leans on running the ball but can pass it. What's kind of your goal to get to on 3rd and down? What's that number? 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4? What do you kind of look for?
I'd like not to ever get to 3rd down because we get the first down on 1st or 2nd.
Sure.
But if we get there, we can deal, with a lot. We get in 3rd and 8 and 9 situations sometimes and still run for first down. So obviously 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 would be more ideal. But we feel like anytime we get within 5 yards, we've got a chance.
And there are a couple of instances in this game where you had to use some timeouts on offense, special teams, to kind of get some communication done. So what are some things you're still working on that led to those timeouts in game that you want to fix up for week 4 moving forward?
Right, and like I alluded to earlier, the mistakes. I counted up at least 25 offensive plays that we blocked wrong, and that goes for special teams and stuff too, right? Extends there. So some of the timeouts that we had to use were because of mental errors and people being lined up in the wrong spot, and we could see it wasn't going to go where it needed to go. So, those are some of the mistakes that we still have to cut down on to become a much better football team.
It's always good to work on mistakes coming off a win as opposed to a loss, though.
Oh, yeah, a lot easier to work on that. Right? But, like I said, the week before, the loss to Knox Central I thought was good for us because had we been sitting there at 0-2, I'm not sure that we can convince the kids that we're really not that good yet, right? And I think they prepared hard for Washington County, and I think they'll continue going forward. But sometimes a loss is not the worst thing in the world. However, it is better to learn from a win than a loss.
Sure, absolutely on that one. And speaking of, back to the positivity of the game, the secondary did a great job, especially defending the deep passes downfield.
Yeah, and that's something that, we hadn't done well to that point. So, like I talked about earlier, I think it shows growth what happened Friday because in the secondary we were a lot more solid. They only completed a couple of passes, and the bombs that they threw, we were on top of it. So we played a lot better in the secondary, and I think as that part of our game comes along, we'll get a lot better.
How do you work on that in practice with your secondary?
Everybody, most I'd say football teams break their practices down into segments, and in the group segment where the secondary, the defensive backs and the linebackers are working together, it's almost like a 7-on-7 period, right, where we can run through all of the opponent's pass plays. We'll take a 15-20-minute segment there where we run every pass play that Washington County has that we've seen at them, right? And so they get those reps, and then they'll get them again when we go team, where it's full offense and defense. So they see it twice in a single day and probably 4 times throughout the week.
And there's a lot more communication to work on a secondary than people probably think they do. You watch TV, you see, you line up man on man, but there's a lot that goes into the secondary for the defensive backs.
And very rarely do we run man, and man becomes easy. A man's not physically easy, right? But mentally it's very easy, right? We're more of a zone team, so it takes a lot of communication. Everybody has to cover their zones and their areas, and sometimes you have to pass things off to other people, and that takes communication during play, not just before play. So it's not an easy job. And the more reps they get working together and communicating, the better they get with each other.
And maybe talk about the difference in zone and man coverage for just your casual fan out there in the audience kind of listening. You could put on your professor hat for a second.
Well, man-to-man coverage is basically I'm covering you one-on-one. I have no other responsibilities. I'm not looking anywhere else. If you go to the bathroom, I'm going with you, right? Anywhere you go, I go. Now, from a physical standpoint, sometimes that's harder to play because if that guy across from you is a better athlete than you are, then it's going to be tough. But from a mental standpoint, it's not, because you know what your assignment is before the play starts, and you just got to do it, right? In zone, just like a zone in basketball, 2-3 zone in basketball, you're covering a certain area. So receivers come in and out of your area, and you have to pass those off to other people as they leave your area and go to others. So communication has to happen, and it gets tricky sometimes.
And that's like an invisible, perimeter around you.
Right. They have certain areas on the field, and you're not going to see it drawn on the field. However, they know where their locations are, when their drop zones are. So, but you have to work together. You have to slide and pass things off, and sometimes it gets confusing until you get really good at it.
And how does a player know where to be at on the field in the zone defense?
Well, usually there's destinations, and again, it depends on whether the offense is starting in between the hashes, whether they're on the right hash, there's a wide side or not. So the destinations change depending on the position of the ball on the field and their formations, because they could line up with the receiver split out all the way to the sideline, or they could line up in a double set where the receivers are only 2 yards off the tackle. So a lot depends.
And last week, to kind of change things up, to go to the special teams, we talked about, wanting to improve on point afters and things like that. You knocked one through, and the field goal attempt was a good look. I mean, it looked like it went in. It was close.
Right. The first touchdown, we actually were able to pull them off sides, and so we went for 2 unsuccessfully there. The second one we kicked and hit it. And the third one was a little bit of a bad snap. I got on my holder. I still thought he could have got it down. I thought he panicked a little bit, but he pulled it and almost completed the pass. I got on him for that too, because it was a terrible pass. And he tells me he can play quarterback all the time. So I said, there was your audition, and you just ruined it. So, but almost completed it. But yeah, the third one was just a bad snap. But the field goal I thought was good. And then after going back and looking at it, it wasn't. It was the right call. But from my angle, it looked good. So when it went up, I was feeling good about it. But everything went well there. We just missed it.
But seems like a step in the right direction on special teams, though.
Right. It was cleaner this week.
And can I talk about the decision, when you drew them off sides to, not go for the 1 point and go for the 2? Is that something you're more prone to do early in a game as opposed to later in a game, or just kind of a gut feeling?
It's a gut feeling, but I would like to be able to do it all the time. Like I said, one of our strengths is up front. So we blocked that all wrong, or it would have, we scored on the play before, a similar type of play, not the same play, and walked in. And we should have been able to do that again, but we blocked it wrong. One of the mistakes, right? So it ended up costing us. But we should have had 8 instead of 6 there. And people don't realize the little parts of that, like how much that affects a game. It didn't come back to bite us, but it could later on. So we got to quit making those mistakes, because when we draw people off sides, we would like to be able to go for 2 and get a little advantage there.
And then when you do miss an extra point like that, do you feel like you got to chase that point the rest of the game and force yourself to go for 2, or you just kind of let the game come to you and the score come to you?
I think it's got to come to you, because in certain games we won't worry about it, because we'll know what type of game it's going to be for the rest of the time out, and there's certain games where you might have to try to get that back at some point. We probably wouldn't do it immediately unless we were, down a bunch at that point, obviously. But, it would depend on the situation.
It is kind of ironic how dominant you were in this game, and then, from the 1 yard line, not be able to punch that ball in.
Right, yeah, it hurts my heart a little bit.
And back to your defense, a couple things going back and watching the game. I know D. Thornton had a huge open field tackle, and there was multiple instances of that where if that receiver got away from that defender, it could have been a 30, 40-yard touchdown, or, just another big play.
Absolutely, and I know exactly the play you're talking about. And they ran what we call a little key screen out there, and their receivers did a fantastic job blocking our corner and our outside backer. One of them's over there, which I ripped him for it. But D came downhill and filled that alley and wrapped him up, because if he didn't, like you said, it was going to be at least a 15, 20-yard gain, maybe a touchdown. So there was a couple of plays like that throughout the night where he came through and saved us. So.
I know you're 3 weeks into a new regime, and a lot of things are going to change between now and October and November. But looking back at it, at 2-1 right now in the season, if you're in July, would you have guessed you'd be at this point?
Probably not. I didn't. At that point, it was brand new, so like everything was being messed up, not just a few things. So, but we kind of saw the nucleus that this team had too. We knew we could be good eventually. We didn't know how long it would take to get there. And but these kids have soaked everything up. And like I said, we're still making a lot of mistakes, but every week we're getting better. And I'm glad that we could start 2-1, and it didn't take us 5-6 weeks in order to get our footing.
And we talked last week about not letting, one loss turn into two and kind of snowball. But now you're coming off a big win, rivalry game, coming back home for, we're debating on the name, Webb Du Bois. We'll get both of them out there. They're the Lions from here on out, just for my sake. But how do you prevent, that letdown moment?
Well, you're right. That's huge. You come off a big emotional win against a crosstown rival, and it's easy to kind of let your guard down, especially when you're playing against somebody you're not familiar with. But I've been keeping an eye on them all week. When we watch film, they're really taking these guys seriously. They realize how good they are, and they realize that they can't take a breath this week. Right, and I think they've understood that early on, because I was worried about the same thing. But you could tell on Monday and even today when we're watching film that they understand how good these guys are. And they're, if we were not to win on Friday, it wouldn't be because they've underestimated them.
So what do you look for as a coach, out of a player, during game week to see if they're really dialed in?
Good questions, right? I mean, you can tell the guys who really come up and they grill me about strategy, game plan, things they've seen on film. Not something that I've told them when we watch it together, but watching film on their own, they've come up with a question, and that lets me know that they're not waiting on the team to do whatever. They're going to do their own studying before we come to be prepared in that moment. So usually when you get that, a guy's pretty dialed in.
And we'll talk more about the Webb Du Bois Lions a bit later on in the show. You're watching the Coach's Corner show here from Big Papa Smokehouse, also brought to you by our friends at Farmer National Bank and United Threads. On the other side of a quick break, we'll be joined by a pair of players who have hopefully asked some good questions this week to you. Quarterback Wyatt Thompson and center Kyle Purdom. You're watching the Marion County Coach's Corner show on G&G Productions.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa's Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride. Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
At Farmers National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in success.
Whether you're managing your personal checking, growing your business, exploring digital banking, or applying for a loan, we're here to help with all of your financial needs.
Decisions are made right here locally by people who understand you and your community, because we live here too.
Farmers National Bank. Local decisions, personal service, real relationships. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into the Marion County Coach's Corner show here on G&G Productions, live from Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. Jamie Murphy, head coach Brown, and joined by a special guest here tonight, quarterback Wyatt Thompson and center Kyle Purdom. Thank you guys for your time tonight, and congratulations on the big win. All right, so we'll start off. First question, we'll dive back into that D. Thornton story there, Coach. Well, the PG version, of course.
Okay. I was just getting on him because the play we talked about a while ago when D came downhill, made a big tackle there on that screen. He was one of the guys out there getting blocked, so I was giving him a hard time. Now, he tells me he thought it was going to be a deep pass, so he was trying to get back and play safe, but I think he was just getting whooped out there.
Some good back and forth with the coach here. So, all right, we'll start off. Quarterback and center. A lot of communication has to go on between you two guys during a game. So, kind of talk about that relationship you've had to build, on and off the field as the center.
I've known Wyatt since I was in Little League. He's always played quarterback for me. I've always been center, so it's just there.
It's pretty much the same. Kyle's just been there, making reads on the line, letting me know what's going on.
So you say that making reads. So kind of talk us through, a casual observer, maybe like myself, what you're looking for out of the defense.
What I'm looking for out of the defense is if they got a 3 or they got a shade, they got a 2 technique, what the linebackers are doing, if they're feeling hard, if they're backing up, just stuff like that.
I'm reading mostly safeties, corners, linebackers. Make sure they're not blitzing in areas that are unprotected. Seeing if gaps are going to be open if I need to switch the play.
And there's a lot going on the football field. You've got, crowd noise, players, shouting back and forth. How do you communicate to each other? And you're not even looking at the quarterback when you see him.
You just got to yell real loud.
You just got to hear him.
So you guys are a little louder on the field than you are here, right?
Yeah.
But usually when I get out there on the field, it just zones off. You can't. After a while, you get used to it.
Joined by Wyatt Thompson, quarterback, and center Kyle Purdom here on the Marion County Coaches Show here from Big Papa's Smokehouse. So we'll start with you, Kyle, and then move over to Wyatt. What got you initially involved in playing football?
Oh, my dad. My dad was a big football player, so I followed right after him, family tradition.
Yes, he was. I played against his dad.
Okay, well, give Dad a shout-out. What's his name?
Kevin Purdom. They call him Hoss.
And you took after him. What position did you play in high school?
Played center, too.
All right.
Yep.
So you were born right into it.
Born right, yep. So was my little brother. Center, too.
All right, well, give him a shout-out on the team as well with you.
Huh?
Does he play with you as well?
Who?
Your brother?
Oh, yeah. He's back up for me, so.
Okay. So a long lineage of Purdoms here at Marion County. All right, Wyatt, what got you into football?
Also, my dad. Surprisingly, he played guard in high school.
Okay.
So, I strayed a little bit off from that.
Have you ever played guard at any point in your life?
I don't think so. I played fullback.
Okay,
Played fullback in Little
fullback,
League.
Okay. Fullback. Is football your favorite sport to play, or do you have? It's just you're naturally good at it. So
it
it's
is
something you
not
just
my
chose?
favorite sport. My favorite sport's baseball.
Baseball. Okay.
And that's what I'm looking to pursue in college. But obviously, if I can do both, I'm gonna try and do both.
Where do we see you at on the diamond?
Catcher.
Catcher.
Mhm.
Okay. So you play a lot of communication roles on both both sports.
Yeah.
How about you, Wyatt? Was football your favorite sport growing up and still is?
Yeah, it still is. Football and basketball are about the only 2 things I really played, but I was stuck with football, so.
All right. So what's it been like, year one under Coach Brown, with especially for you, being on the offensive line and defensive line, with the physicality he preaches and that you guys had on Friday night?
Well, it's been great. I mean, I love a good physical team. Can't beat it.
It hasn't been bad. Just keep reminding the backs what to do.
We heard a lot last week about the running throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of running.
That minute of fun, it gets you.
They're not gonna let you down on that one, Coach. But it's worked out, 2-1 so far, and what would it mean to you to get that second straight win over Washington County in dominant fashion like you did?
I mean, they've always been rivals. I always like to beat them, so that's great.
And it just feels good to give a good beat in Washington.
What do you got to do to keep it going the rest of the season for your future opponents?
Ooh, keep going. I tell you, we gotta have good practices. The past 3 weeks we ain't had very good practice, but we gotta start having good practices.
So for maybe an outsider, what's a good practice? What do you look for in preparation?
A good practice for us is nobody messes up. No matter what position, we always have a bunch of mess ups. So
yeah, everybody remembering the plays, blocking who they're supposed to be blocking.
Joined by Wyatt Thompson, quarterback, and Kyle Purdom, and you both play on both sides of the football. How challenging is that? You got to put in a lot of work in the offseason to have that conditioning.
Yeah, I know the first second quarter is pretty rough for me, but after about third, fourth quarter, when I can just get out there, I don't pay attention no more.
So the goal is to wear the opponent down as the game goes on, and you're able to keep that up and get better as it goes on.
Yeah, it does. Like I said, first, second quarter, it's all in my mind. As soon as I hit third, fourth quarter, when it's game time, prime time, start going. Fine after that.
All right. And, so what's your looking back, your favorite memories so far as at Marion County?
Probably messing with Coach Ford. we call him Unc. So he's like our uncle. We just mess with him.
Mine's probably just coming in as a freshman quarterback and almost leading a comeback against Casey County.
And we all know, the game, your favorite game to look forward to for the most part, the vibes I'm getting is Washington County. But that game's done. It's in the past. What's something maybe you're looking forward to, an opponent you're looking forward to playing the rest of the year?
Looking forward to playing Nelson. I have a cousin that plays on Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good little friendly rivalry there.
Yeah.
Would it be the first time you played each other at the varsity level?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So when's that one on the calendar? Is that coming up pretty shortly? Or
3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks away? Okay.
It's a little bit ways away.
That'd be a fun one. What positions do you play?
I think he plays tackle.
Okay. So you can't throw any passes over his head or anything, can you?
Nah.
Well, you could. I'm sure you do in the backyard.
Yeah.
All right. Same question for you, Kyle. What's a game you're looking forward to the most?
I like playing against Thomas Nelson. Usually they put up good fight. They put up good fight against us last year, and we didn't really score until the fourth quarter. They always put up fights. So I'm ready for that one.
Yeah, that's probably fun because they're kind of a team, runs the ball very heavy. They got a new coach this year, but is that challenging, kind of playing a mirror of yourself?
It is, yeah. Like Washington County, we didn't score that many points, but that's all you can do.
You're able to just dominate and control the football in that game, though. I mean, how hard is that to do? I mean, I don't have the exact numbers in time of possession, but I do estimate, about 70% of the game?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, I always tell my running backs, we'll block 3 or 4 yards. That's all you need to get one play. 3 or 4 yards each time will eventually go all the way down.
4 yards turns into a first down, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So your perspective as a center, again, you're talking about blocking assignments. So again, for like the casual fan, kind of break that down. What you look for, what you do, and the role of every offensive lineman you have.
For me, I'm looking for, like I said, 2 techniques, 3 eyes, shade. I tell White, I suggest which way to run, what we need to do, who we need to pull, stuff like that.
All right. So for somebody like me that's football literate, 2 technique, 3 technique? What is that?
So a 2 technique is head up on the guard, a 3 technique's on the outside shoulder guard, and a 1 technique is right in the middle A gap.
And the guards are next to you, and then tackles on the outside, right?
That's right.
All right. Look, I'm learning. All right. And for you, Wyatt, what do you kind of observe, when you're out there looking for defense? And I know you're the quarterback, but how do you kind of help your running backs with your communication?
Like I said earlier, I'm telling them where to go, where to block. Shuck, he forgets to fold under a lot. But, just pointing out, like, blitzing linebackers, keying the mic, just overall, yeah.
And we're early in the season here, but any favorite, memories so far, back from the summer up until now, kind of stand out that we can talk about?
Not really.
Oh, discussion for off the air, right?
Early.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. So we'll start with you again, Wyatt, and work our way over here towards Kyle. Outside of football, what's your favorite subject in school?
I would have to say math. I've always been really good at it. It just comes easy.
Not for me.
If you can count lunch as a subject, I'm all about that one.
All right. Well, speaking of food, what's your go-to item here at Big Papa's?
Probably just a regular cheeseburger. I'm real picky, so I don't like nothing special.
Cheeseburger at a barbecue restaurant.
I don't get it.
Same question to you. What's your go-to, or what'd you order tonight, Wyatt?
The brisket mac and cheese melt.
Oh, that's always solid. Good brisket mac and cheese. Any clubs or you're associated with in school, or just strictly football, baseball for
Just
the year?
football, baseball.
Oh, I'm on the Marion County High School fishing team too, so pretty fun.
Promote that a little bit. Let's talk about the fishing team and how that's going.
We fish about every other weekend, I think, and we go around to different lakes. But we fish the 6 or 12 most days. But we only got like 3 or 4 boats on team. If we need people to join, so if you're watching right now, we need a bunch of more people.
Any fishing tips? You want to keep those to yourself?
I gotta keep them to myself.
I figured as much. So joined by that's Kyle Purdom and Wyatt Thompson here, quarterback and center for the Marion County football team. Fresh off the big win, 19-0 over Marion County, or over Washington County, I should say, on Friday night. So what's kind of the goal for the rest of the season now? Sitting at 2-1, over 500, almost a month into the year.
I'm looking to beat last year's record. That's my main goal.
Yeah. Just staying consistent, keeping that good record, and progressing further in the playoffs.
And what's it going to take to accomplish those goals?
Just consistent grind, not letting the mental mistakes affect your game.
Okay. So step away for a quick break here. We'll continue talking with Wyatt and Kyle on the other side, and we'll dive more into the matchup on Friday night with Webb DuBois. You're watching the Marion County Coaches Corner show here on G&G Productions.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa's Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon, or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa's Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride.
Opening an account is easy at Farmers National Bank. We're here to help you get started.
With options like secure checking, student checking, and even senior checking, we can help you find the account that best fits your current needs. Farmers National Bank. Local, friendly, ready to serve you.
Member FDIC.
Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
And welcome back into the Marion County Coaches Corner show here on G&G Productions, live from Big Papa Smokehouse, joined by Marion County head coach Ross Brown, Marion County quarterback and linebacker Wyatt Thompson, and center and defensive tackle Kyle Purdom. And we mentioned earlier, kind of playing both ways of the ball. What's your favorite position to play or favorite side of the ball to be on?
I like being on defense. I like being on the left side because I have my right hand down. I'm right hand dominant. So
I like defense. There's less penalties, more room to hit people.
Coach, something to say over there?
Yeah, that's my guy. I played strong safety and quarterback too, just like he does when I was in high school, and I was much more of a defensive guy. I played quarterback because they made me, but really my love was the defensive side of the ball. It always has been. I like hitting people as opposed to being hit.
I was going to ask you that question.
So, I went to play later on at Georgetown College on the defensive side of the ball, and that was always my love. So I love that he's got that in him, because I know, look how tough he is, right? And that's a part of it.
So we kind of talked about, how you grew up, what motivated you to play football, different sports and activities. So maybe what's your favorite NFL or college team you cheer for on Saturdays or Sundays?
for favorite NFL team, I have to go with the Colts, and favorite college team, obviously Kentucky.
NFL team, I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Bills fan over here, so I don't like to hear that one.
And college, just going to have to go Wildcats.
Wildcats, all right. I'm outnumbered. I'm a Cards fan myself, so 2-1 here on the set. What are some players you kind of idolized growing up?
My idol for football was always Julian Edelman.
You're supposed to say your dad, right?
No, just a small slot guy, always gets open.
Ryan, I think his name Ryan Jensen or something like that. He had long hair, had red mullet, kind of looked like me. He played center for Tampa Bay for a little bit, and I love watching him. He's real aggressive.
A big fan of any mullet there. I can't grow one, so I'm kind of short in that department there. But anyway, joined by Wyatt Thompson, Kyle Purdom here on the Coach's Corner show as we kind of wind things down. And let's look ahead to next week's game. A big win. How do you? And we talked to Coach Brown about this earlier. How do you avoid that big letdown off a rivalry win and coming back home against a team you're really not familiar with?
I have no idea.
Good practice, right?
Yeah, good practice. We have great practice.
Just obviously, Du Bois is looking to throw more against us than what Washington kind of did. So, extra preparation in the week for that pass game and maybe the difference of speed that they have.
And how did playing Washington kind of prepare you for this next game? Because they took some deep shots downfield and really never beat you guys down there.
Washington kind of was more like a run team. They didn't really excel at throwing the ball, but when they did, just had to make a play on it.
All right, so game day coming up. It's Tuesday. What's a typical week look like for you guys preparing for a game?
Monday is
Monday.
Mile Monday.
But it's not a full mile. It's 4 laps around a football field, right?
But Monday is film and install. Tuesday is offense. Wednesday is defense. Thursday is prep, going over everything. And then Friday's game day.
Yeah. So mile-ish Monday, Coach.
Yeah,
more like it.
About 2:30.
Okay. Making sure. So, Wyatt Thompson, Kyle Purdom here on set with us here for the Marion County Coaches Corner show. Coming up on Friday night, home game against Webb Dubois. And it's going to be good to return back home to your home crowd.
That's right. I love playing in front of my home crowd. So,
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about a home game?
Student section.
Student section, yeah, too. And I like seeing more of my family comes to home games, so I like seeing all of them there too. So
A little extra motivation for you to put on, or criticism maybe.
yeah.
So, what's it like going on the road? What's the difference? Obviously, I know you're in a different stadium, but how much goes into going away from your home stadium on a Friday night?
There's a big difference. I mean, you can feel it on the bus ride over. Everybody's quiet. We're kind of listening to music. Everybody's trying to lock in. We're a home game. We're kind of relaxed. We got time. We can eat, go there and eat, come back, relax. And it's different.
What was that bus ride like on a Friday night coming back over?
Oh, come back over. It was. We had Coach Ford in the back. He got this big speaker. We was bumping.
You couldn't sleep if you wanted to.
No post-game naps. Well, Wyatt, Kyle, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the way. You're watching the Marion County Coaches Corner Show live from Big Papa Smokehouse on G&G Productions.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride. Looking for custom t-shirts? When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
Opening an account is easy at Farmers National Bank. We're here to help you get started.
With options like secure checking, student checking, and even senior checking, we can help you find the account that best fits your current needs. Farmers National Bank. Local, friendly, ready to serve you.
Member FDIC.
Welcome back into the Marion County Coaches Corner Show here on G&G Productions, live from Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. Jamie Murphy and Marion County head coach Ross Brown joining us here tonight on the Coaches Corner Show, as we do each Tuesday night here throughout the rest of the season. And we just had the players walking out, and you're getting on about doing some homework.
Yeah, obviously, right? And people forget sometimes sitting in the stands that these kids are students first, and they're high school students that happen to play football, right?
Students first, at least at the high school level, right?
Right.
Maybe
that's
college,
right.
not so much anymore.
It gets iffy when you get up there.
Yeah, the NIL deals and things like that, but we don't have that here. So it's a pretty good group of students to stay on. Do you guys stay on top of them a lot, or are they pretty good and responsible?
It's pretty good and responsible. I've been in 4 different places now. And I think everywhere I've been pretty blessed. Haven't had any problems with kids not wanting to do right in school or behaving poorly or anything like that.
Well, we'll move on to this week's matchup against, and again, talking about education, Web Du Bois, we'll figure it out eventually, the Lions, coming up on Friday night. Yeah. And they're, the record says 1-2, but they're a really battle-tested team. They've played KCD already, a powerhouse school in the state. They've had, had the game against Holy Cross, so that 1-2 could be a little bit deceiving.
It can be really deceiving because when you look at them on film, they don't look like a team that should be 1-2. Like you said, the KCD game that they drop, a lot of teams are going to lose to KCD. That's a very good football program, and so if you have a bad night against a bunch like that, then that can happen. So. They're 1-2, but they're, I would say, better than most other 1-2 teams in this state right now.
Do players and coaches even pay attention or have any idea of the opponent's record coming up, or you're just kind of strictly watching the film and seeing how they look?
I think it's more on film, at least for me. I can't speak for the players, but I usually don't even look on KHSA to see a record or anything like that. I look at the film first and then try to figure it out from there. But it's, because like you said, it depends on what your schedule is. You could be 0-2 and be the best dang 0-2 team in the state because you've played monsters. So you got to watch the film.
So speaking of watching the film, what's something that really sticks out to you about Web Du Bois?
Speed and quickness, and they do a good job of spreading the ball around. They will run it, but that's not, their main focus like ours. They're kind of opposite of us. They want to sling it around a little bit and get their athletes out in space on the edges, and they're good at it.
And we talked about last week, we mentioned Marion and Washington, it's kind of playing a mirror of yourself. Both teams want to run the ball. That's not your strength necessarily. So how do you prepare for that in practice, a team like them that's going to throw the ball and challenge your secondary?
A lot of reps. I talked about how we break it down on defensive days with what we call Skelly, which is a 7-on-7 kind of deal. So they'll get a lot of reps run at them during that. And then when we go put it all together with team, they'll get a lot there too. And then Thursday, in kind of our walkthrough day, when we go back over everything, we'll make sure to hit, everything that they like to do 4, 5, 6 times.
Do you watch a lot? So when you get ready for a game, do you watch that team just for 1 week, or do you kind of, pop in and keep an eye on them throughout the season and the off season?
Well, I think there's certain teams you do that with, but as it is right now, like we're just starting, we're getting into this, so like every week has to get 100% devoted attention, right? So no, I haven't looked forward to anybody this year because we're just learning, we're making a lot of mistakes, we're trying to keep our head above water at this point. So I've got enough on my plate right now with trying to fix everything we're doing wrong.
And we talked a lot about their offense already, wanting to pass the football. That could be a bit of a challenge for you. What else offensively challenges they present to you?
Just like I said, the speed, the sport, speed kills. So leverage angles on defense and making sure that when we do attack a ball carrier, we attack him in the right way with good angles, and we kind of can negate some of that speed difference sometimes if we attack the proper way. So a lot of the focus on defense this week will be about that.
How do you work on angles? Maybe for like the common listener or viewer, what's an angle? How do you take a proper angle at a player?
Well, teamwork, right? Our defense and everybody's defense is designed to do something. So, but it takes all 11 people doing the right thing. So if my outside linebackers, or if their goal is to keep all run plays inside of them and not let them outside, then we have to attack at the proper angle. Now, the middle linebackers is different. They have an inside-out angle, so we can't overlap, right? If the guy who's supposed to be playing inside-out goes over top, then he leaves a cutback lane for the running back. So as long as everybody's doing their job, playing with their proper angles, we can kind of box them in, right? But, you can't let one side of that box break with somebody not playing their leverage angle.
Yep. And now we'll kind of pivot over to the other side of the football for Webb DuBois. What challenges, what's the film look like defensively that they're going to attack you with?
Looks like they're going to be aggressive. The thing about running the wing T, sometimes it's hard to know what somebody's going to do against you because they tend to play us differently than they do everybody else who's in a typical spread type formation. So but KCD, I think we can look at, because even though it's a completely different offense, we have similar formations. So I figure that they'll give us a lot of what we saw on film with KCD, and if that's the case, then they'll have a lot of people up and being aggressive.
It's a team effort in football, but what are some players you're going to be looking forward to this week that you're kind of maybe going to challenge and push a little harder for this matchup?
Zach Cameron, one of our receivers, and just because we haven't gotten the passing game going, it's not his fault at all. But if we get it going a little bit more this week, I look for him to have a bigger week than he's normally had. And like I said, the things previous to this have been out of his control. But as we get better at throwing the ball around, I look for him to have bigger weeks coming up.
And this program with DuBois, only in their third year of varsity football, but coming off a 5-win year last year, they said that 1-2 record could be deceiving. What kind of challenges are they facing as a program, coming from scratch like they are?
What kind of challenges are they facing?
They're facing, yeah.
Well, they're in a situation where it's a private school, so they have to recruit their talent every year. They don't have a feeder system that feeds right into them. So not only their football team, they got to recruit the kids in their school. So I'd say that would present a challenge of constantly having to be on that path to bring in the new group. Yeah.
Yep. And we go back to their offense and how they want to attack the football. Do you spend more time kind of just watching the film and seeing what they do, or do you try to go onto the practice field and simulate what they're doing as an opponent?
Oh, both. I mean, that's what we watch it on film first to see it, and then that's what we spend the rest of the week getting the scout team. So the guys who aren't the starters on offense or defense will represent the other team that week. And so they'll be running their offense at us and their defense at us. So, yeah, all week they'll be being exposed to what we think they're going to do.
And we're kind of talking to Kyle Purdom earlier, your center and your defensive tackle, kind of mentioning he wants to see the practices be a little better. What are you looking for with that? To kind of echo what he was talking about.
Well, I think what he was trying to say, and I think Wyatt said it later on, was we just need to clean up mistakes, right? So the practices are fine. These kids practice hard. It's a lot of effort. There's no shortage there. It's just the mistakes, right? So, and they happen on game day, but that's something in practice, we've made it a goal to try to go 100% in a practice. No mistake, no mental mistakes, right? And we haven't gotten there yet. We've gotten pretty close, but we do it individually by position. But, I think that's what he was trying to say is just we have to, when he says practice better, eliminate the mistakes.
And we talked earlier about, the 300 yards of offense and holding the Commanders under 100 yards. Do you kind of set goals as a staff and a team like that, or you just kind of get into the game and just?
We don't. We want to play solid offensively and defensively, but we never come up and say, I want you to hold this team to under 100 yards on the ground or anything like that. We just want to play solidly. And, it's one down at a time, and it's everybody doing their job, playing with good leverage, like I talked about earlier. And, if we continue to get better each week, then I think we can be pretty dang solid by the end of the year.
And going back through your coaching career, do you have any experience with Webb Dubois or know anybody that did coaches kind of call around and ask, friends about teams?
I don't really. I ran into him one time at a 7-on-7 tournament that I was at when I was at a previous school, and they were just kind of brand new then. And, you could tell, but the kids I see on the field now, you can tell it's not their first year anymore. So you knew where they were starting from, and what they got now, it looks like that they're coming up pretty quick.
What's been your biggest takeaway 3 weeks into the season for your team?
Patience. I got to be patient, right? Any coach, tell you want to be a perfectionist, and it's not going to happen with a new group. Right now. So I don't think I'll ever get comfortable until, I feel better about the amount of mistakes that we're making. But, yeah, patience.
How do you work on yourself as a coach? Because, with the players, you can watch them, you can see the film and point it out. How do you evaluate yourself?
Well, not only do we break down the other team, but we break down ourselves. So every week. So after I get done breaking down the next team, the next opponent, then I turn on our film again, and then I break us down as if I was a defensive coach preparing for us, and I see what I would do to myself, right? So I try to do the best I can to see what my tendencies are, so I would know how a defense is looking at us.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for your time this week, and we'll catch up again next week, and best of luck on Friday night.
Thank you very much.
That's going to wrap it up here from Big Papa Smokehouse for the Marion County Knights Coaches Corner show here on G&G Productions. I want to thank Matt and Seamus behind the scenes for their help tonight. Thank our friends here at Big Papa's for hosting us, and our friends at Farmers National Bank and United Threads. Back at it next Tuesday night right here from Big Papa Smokehouse on G&G Productions.
When you want barbecue done right, head to Big Papa's Smokehouse in Lebanon. At Big Papa's, we take pride in smoking our meats low and slow in our very own outdoor smoke pit, using a special blend of hickory and oak wood for that rich, savory flavor. Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, all seasoned with our original in-house rubs and recipes, then smoked to perfection with delicious sides and desserts. Taste the difference that only Big Papa's can deliver. Find us at 737 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 270-699-2321. Big Papa Smokehouse, where every bite is smoked with pride.
Ready for a new adventure? We'll help you get there, by land or by water. New car, ATV, RV, or boat? Wherever your next adventure takes you, we make your loan process simple, stress-free, and fast.
Farmers National Bank. Local decisions, personal service, real relationships. Member FDIC.
Looking for custom t-shirts or embroidery? Come see us at United Threads in Lebanon. Whether it's for your ball team, your business, a family reunion, fundraiser, or your club, we've got you covered. From hats to shirts, we can design it, screen print it, and embroider it. All done in-house with top quality results. Find us at 100 Corporate Drive right behind Hardee's and next to Kroger in Lebanon. That's United Threads, because when you look good, your team looks united.
You've been listening to the Marion County Knights Coaches Show, live from Big Papa Smokehouse in Lebanon. Our coverage has been brought to you by United Threads and Big Papa Smokehouse, both in Lebanon. Tune in Tuesday night, 6 p.m. for Marion County Night Football right here on G&G Productions.